Before this review begins, I would like to say that I did see this movie back in 2020. We are still continuing my series of birthday movies that I've already seen. We're almost done. We got this, and then we got one more coming soon. I don't know when I'll release it, but it's coming. Don't worry. So today, I'm going to be reviewing Aquaman. Aquaman came out in the year 2008. And I remember it came out in the month of December. The plot to this movie is actually quite simple. It's a cliched tale of, an outsider learning where he's from, that being Aquaman learning about his home world of Atlantis, and then trying to reclaim the throne from his evil brother. It's a story that I think everybody has seen before in different movies. Now, given how Justice League, in my last review, I stated it was pretty disappointing, and I still think it is. Do I think Aquaman is disappointing? No, I actually think it's better than Justice League. Is it a great movie? No, we'll get to that in a moment. This is a good movie to watch. I really enjoyed seeing Aquaman. I enjoyed the entire time I was watching it. It was a fun movie. I will say that. Usually I start with characters and acting in that, so I'll do it again in this review, even though I started with the plot a few minutes ago. Jason Momoa is back as Aquaman, and I think he is perfect for this role. Definitely seems to embrace the role. He definitely does a great job acting as this undersea king who is reluctant to claim his right to the throne. That same reluctance is displayed in Justice League when he's reluctant to join the team. But here he's just reluctant to take what is rightfully his, even though people keep telling him that he's the king of his homeworld of Atlantis, and he needs to take back the throne. He does a really good job. I mean, his arc is cliche, since the plot is cliche, and so I'll go ahead and say this. Since the plot, I have said, you've seen it a bunch of times, there's a lot of elements here you're going to see a whole bunch of times. A lot of plot events, a lot of plot sequences, scenarios, all that. It's cliched. But it seems to not care. It just seems to own it. This movie almost seems to, in a way, to not take itself seriously. And maybe that's just what makes it fun. Other characters include Orm, played by Patrick Wilson. I think he's a good villain. Sometimes he can be kind of whiny, and this sounds like a spoiled child. He has that kind of spoiled attitude in him. But I think he's pretty good. I also like Willem Dafoe as Volko, Aquaman's teacher and trainer. Yes, the same guy who played Gil in Finding Nemo. The last character I think should be noted is Amber Heard as Mera. Now, I know Amber Heard has been in a lot of controversy recently, or should I say not controversy, trouble. She's been in a lot of trouble recently. Amber Heard as an actress in this movie, remember, this came out in 2018. This is before the whole thing she's involved in right now. As an actress in this movie, she's good. But her character, Mera, I found to be actually pretty boring. She's portrayed as this all-powerful female character who basically tells Aquaman what he has to do and has all these powers that can solve problems. She's not totally powerful. There are moments where she does get vulnerable and she has to sit down and talk with Aquaman about her problems. But other than that, her weaknesses are just told to us instead of being shown to us. I really think they were trying to go for the Wonder Woman effect. In a way, she's all-powerful, but they also try to make her vulnerable. There is a scene where they do try to make her naive to the human world, so she asks questions a lot. However, it doesn't really work because she's not really a likable character. See, in Wonder Woman had these abilities that made her like a really powerful warrior because she trained in Themyscira, but what made her likable was her personality, her goals, Wonder Woman's naive nature to the human world, and the fact that she was caring for other people. That's what made Wonder Woman a good character in her movie. Here, Mera is just someone who's trying to tell Arthur what to do, how to get the things he needs to get in order to become king and secure the throne. And she's kind of a dull character in my opinion. Now I want to talk about some major aspects of the movie that I think are really worth noting. The number one thing that I think is most praiseworthy about this movie is the special effects. I mean, let's look at the CGI for a moment. Atlantis is such a beautiful place to look at. I mean, yes, it's CGI, and yes, it looks fake. Heck, everything looks fake. Even the human locations, they look like a set. But it's beautiful compared to something like Justice League, where there's green screens all the time, and you can tell it's a green screen. Here, Aquaman, it's colorful, but it actually looks somewhat real. It looks really pretty to look at. It's not ugly. It's really a whole bunch of eye candy throughout this movie. Yes, I did mention they go to a human world, and they go to a city. I'm not going to say where. They go to a city in the human world, and it looks beautiful too. I mean, Atlantis is CGI, but it's beautiful. I mean, it's really beautiful to look at. So beautiful, in fact, it makes you want to be there. You want to be in Atlantis with these characters. You want to explore this world. And speaking of special effects, we got to talk about the fact that a lot of this movie takes place underwater. I really need to applaud this movie for making this underwater world seem real. They do a good job of making the characters look like they're swimming or floating underwater. And when those explosions or characters bump into things, the sound of the explosion is really muffled. And I have to praise the movie for that. The downside to the special effects, however, is that things can look super fake, like CGI characters instead of humans, like actual people in costumes. So that's one downside to the special effects, I will say. Another aspect of this movie that is worth praising is the cinematography. Most notably in the fight sequences, which use lots of Steadicam, which is where they just shoot a scene, but they don't actually cut it. They'll just pan around at the entire background, the set. They'll just pan around, but they don't cut the camera at all. And it works for the fight sequences that occur in this movie. Yes, there are cuts in the battles, but it's really good to look at. I love the way they handled the cinematography here. Now, speaking of fight scenes, I have to say that a lot of them are very over the top and look really cheesy. Like, for example, characters will get stabbed, they will get sliced, they will get thrown in the buildings, they will be thrown great distances, but then they'll get up as if nothing happened. Yeah, that's another aspect of the movie that does look over the top, and it makes it look really goofy, but the movie seems to, as I said, the movie seems to own it. This is a really fun movie. I barely have anything negative to say other than what I've already mentioned, that being a cliched plot and, yeah, goofy battle sequences. But it's still enjoyable. There's really little to hate in this movie as far as what is produced here, and yeah, this is definitely worth watching, and I would recommend it to anyone who is a superhero fan. On a scale of 1 to 10, I am happy to give Aquaman a 7. If you saw Aquaman, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. My next review for my last movie that I got for my birthday, Shazam, will probably not come out until a little later. I do plan on filming it tomorrow, but I will say it may not come out for a little while, so just a heads up on that. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to support the channel. Leave a like, comment down below what you thought of Aquaman. I will see you in my next video when it comes out. Thank you for watching.